Hi everyone, this is AG47 Liberty, and this video was prompted today by a total disconnect to reality when the US dollar is falling, and so did our precious metals. In the real world, I don't think this goes on. Anyway, here's some reasons I think. Obviously, this is a sign of manipulation. Obvious. And this is the reasons why, I believe. This is all part of my silver soap opera montage or series. And let me get started with it. Here's some of my ideas on how the G7 is actually, with their actions, is actually going to hurt Japan and possibly bring down the entire financial system and political system of the West. And so here we go. All the G7s, remember, they all got together and they decided to basically print, which means to loot the world more by stealing even more from the productive people who could actually help Japan. Well, how are they stealing? They're printing money. This printing money is actually theft of the value of money already in circulation. So they steal it. This is stealth stealing, in other words. So, and let's go on. Who are the G7? Who are they? The G7 are France, Germany, the United States, Italy, Japan, Canada, United Kingdom, or England. So, what in the world can these bankers and political hacks do? Because they are parasites. They take, they do not produce. And believe me, they're not giving back. They're continuing to take. The money these supposedly generous monsters are creating is coming out of thin air. They get it from anywhere. They just print it up. Like they're gods or something. Ooh, wave a wand and there you go. Well, it doesn't work that way. Economics does not work that way. Anyway, let me read on. They're playing at being God while wreaking devilish problems. Their idea of healing Japan will kill her because their idea of stabilizing currencies will cause great harm. And let me explain that. Japan needs a strong yen so as to be able to import the materials and services needed to rebuild. It does not need to export, send resources away from Japan. To put it simply, Japan is starving and it needs to be fed. The G7 is going to have their central banks. This is what they decided. They're going to have their central banks create more currency out of thin air just at a time when production has been cut. This means the new currency will be chasing fewer goods. And this currency will be going into the remaining goods out there, thus forcing up the prices. Japan's needs will increase all the while, and also this is hysterical. They want Japan to continue printing and buying U.S. treasuries. It's like a starving man throwing his food away to a fat fuck over across the ocean somewhere. Japan needs will increase all the while Japan is printing. Thus, they're lowering the value of the yen. They need the strong yen. They don't need to lower it. They don't need to export. They need to import. Therefore, they need a strong yen because a strong yen will attract goods and services that Japan needs to rebuild. So how is Japan ever going to get what she needs if what she needs is constantly being pulled away from her reach? Yeah, how's she going to feed herself? How's she going to ever rebuild? Silver and other precious metals sees this, and the prices have been rising. That's why the price of silver will rise relentlessly, no matter what our self-anointed faux gods do. JP Morgan, the central bankers, and the political systems of the G7 have just mortally wounded themselves. Oh, they can still create a lot of problems. You know, nothing's more dangerous than a wounded animal. But basically, they just stabbed themselves, and it's only a matter of time now before it all comes crashing down. For them, the countries will survive. The people, we will survive. For them, their little political or basically crime spree of stealing is over, hopefully. Hopefully will not be drawn back in to these schemes by these politicians and these money printers. So these printing of money is just theft. It's just theft. The printing press wasn't. All right, here's the thought I had while I wrote this, and I think it's quite apt. The printing press was invented in Europe and helped liberate man from oppression through the creation of books and the spreading of ideas. Those same printing presses that liberated us are now being used to enslave us through the printing of fake, phony money, currency. It silently steals the fruits of our labors and puts it into the hands of those who operate the printing presses. These operators know that without wealth, we become dependents and servile, and they can re-enslave us just like in the Dark Ages. They were dark because man was not enlightened through books and ideas. Those ideas were kept from him, or kept from us. And thanks to the printing press, the Gutenberg printing press, it illuminated the minds of men, and thus it liberated us. And the same printing press has now been turned against us. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this. And remember my motto, trust in God. Everyone else pays in silver.